You know, I always wondered, and I don't know if this is morbid for me to think, but I always wonder, if I didn't show up to work for a couple of days, would my coworkers actually call? I don't think they would. I think they would be. I think my coworkers would think I finally just quit.
It belonged to 27-year-old Yanis Paraskakis.
Oh, hell no, bro. You see the way his head is dented? Yeah, this nigga was not right, bro. Look at that. I can see the top of his head from the front. Yeah, no, this nigga was not okay. I'll never understand serial killers. What in the fuck am I looking? What am I looking? Google just be putting anything on the screen, bro.
Racist against rappers, they all look the same to him. They used to beg him not to egg him on Halloween. He told him holler back with the suede Pumas, dollar green. Nah, I mean, heat it up till the temperature tarball. Y'all just gawk like gargoyle.
Chilling scares. Alright, today I got us an interesting video. YouTubers that became murderers. I know a couple of YouTubers that became murderers, off the top of my head, because I be watching a lot of true crime videos. But let's see if Chilling Scares got a couple ones that I don't know.
Suzanne Eaton was a 59-year-old American scientist who was working as a professor of molecular biology in Dresden, Germany.
Damn.
A big part of her job at this institute was to travel around the world and hold conferences on the latest developments in her field. In July of 2019, she traveled to the scenic Greek island of Crete for one of these conferences, not knowing that this was going to be her last, and that the person responsible for her end would be caught because of his videos on YouTube.
I don't know this one. This is crazy.
The incident happened on July 2nd, when, after a conference, Suzanne spent time with her peers and played the public piano in the venue's lobby before saying her goodbyes and heading out to her hotel in the afternoon. Sadly, this was the last time anyone saw Suzanne alive. Her coworkers noticed her absence when she didn't show up for the second conference scheduled for 6 p.m. that evening. It wasn't like her to skip events out of the blue. Something wasn't right. A fact that became increasingly clear when over 24 hours passed without anyone hearing from her.
You know, I always wondered, and I don't know if this is morbid for me to think, but I always wonder, if I didn't show up to work for a couple of days, would my coworkers actually call? I don't think they would. I think they would be. I think my coworkers would think I finally just quit.
So on July 3rd, her colleagues called the police to check on her, hoping she was simply sick or something similar. However, when officers arrived at her hotel room, no one answered the door. They acquired a spare key from the hotel management and went inside, only to find the room completely empty and undisturbed. All of Suzanne's belongings were also still in the room. The only things missing were her running shoes and a set of exercise clothes. Those who knew her immediately understood what this meant. You see, in addition to her academic prowess and piano expertise, Suzanne was also an athlete at heart. She was a double black belt in Taekwondo.
Jesus, she did it all, didn't she?
And despite her age, loved going on a run every day. Knowing this helped investigators narrow down what might have happened to her. Put simply, she likely went on a run soon after returning to her hotel on July 2nd, and something went wrong after that. She wasn't super familiar with the area, and to make matters worse, the weather was uncomfortably hot that afternoon.
So she went running and she got hunted down by some weirdo YouTube wannabe?
There was a strong possibility she collapsed from the heat or something else along those lines.
But we know that didn't happen.
After putting this together, the Crete police immediately dispatched a search and rescue team in the area surrounding her hotel and around popular running trails. Her family even traveled to Crete and put a €50,000 reward for anyone who could help find Suzanne. Unfortunately, Suzanne was nowhere to be found. That is until 5 days later, on July 8th, when two young men were
what the fuck?
Exploring one of the abandoned World War II Nazi bunkers scattered across Crete.
I was about to say, where the hell are they?
Around 200 meters in, one of them noticed a piece of burlap covering something on the ground. They picked it up from one end to see what was underneath. And what they found was the aftermath of one of the most horrific crimes in Crete's recent history.
That's
crazy. The
crazy.
burlap was covering the bloody remains of Suzanne Eaton. A later autopsy.
I can only imagine how much that would scar you to just stumble across a dead body. But you are walking around a WW2 this is the worst something Federation or something. It would be crazy to walk around a World War II Nazi bunker. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you had to expect to see some shit like that.
Report discovered that Suzanne had several broken ribs, multiple fractures throughout her body, a missing ear, and much, much more.
A missing ear?
Whatever happened to her certainly was not an accident. The investigators began searching for clues, and fortunately it didn't take long for them to make their first major breakthrough. A set of car tire tracks leading up to the entrance of the bunker.
Damn.
Analyzing these tracks allowed investigators to find the
I ain't gonna lie, that unibrow is ridiculous, bro.
tracks leading up to the entrance of the bunker.
I've never met somebody who just willingly rocks a unibrow. I feel like that's such a crazy look. Like, why?
These tracks allowed investigators
Like, why? Why not shave it?
to
That's crazy,
find
bro.
the car responsible for transporting Suzanne's remains to that bunker. It belonged to 27-year-old Yanis Paraskakis.
Oh, hell no, bro. You see the way his head is dented? Yeah, this nigga was not right, bro. Look at that. I can see the top of his head from the front. Yeah, no, this nigga was not okay.
A local sheep farmer. But when
A
questioned,
sheep farmer? I can only imagine what he did to the sheep.
Yanis feigned ignorance and claimed that him driving through that area on that day was nothing more than a coincidence. He went as far as to say that
yeah, I coincidentally drove up to a Nazi bunker. Yeah,
he didn't even know about the existence of that bunker, a lie that would eventually lead to his arrest. You see, Yanis had a dream to become a successful YouTuber. He started a channel with his own name in 2012 and began posting videos. However, if you go to his channel today, all you'll find are 3 videos of him performing an ancient Chinese martial art and meditation technique called Qigong.
I said Qui-Gon. Holy shit.
That's because a couple days before Suzanne's body was discovered, Yanis deleted every other video on his channel. And once authorities recovered some of these deleted videos, it became clear why.
Why did this nigga record and upload himself committing the crime?
You see, most of these deleted videos involved Yanis exploring abandoned World War II bunkers, including the one where Suzanne's remains were discovered. This contradiction gave the authorities the go-ahead to formally arrest him on July 15. It also allowed them to investigate him further.
I just want to smack the top of his head.
And the evidence they discovered was overwhelming. As it turned out, the land where this bunker was located was owned by Yanis's family. Investigators also found traces of Suzanne's blood in his car's trunk.
I would not let that leave the household, bro, that I own land that a Nazi bunker is stationed on top of. I'm cool.
When confronted with this evidence, Yanis cracked and told the whole story. According to him, he saw Suzanne running down the road and something came over him. He hit her with his car twice before
Why?
putting her in his car, driving to the bunker, and ending her life there.
Niggas just be doing anything, bro. Some people just don't deserve to have free will.
He later changed his story to where he was compelled to commit this crime by a demon.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right, nigga. If you would have went with that first, I could probably believe it because it looked like the dent in his head is probably where the demon dug into his skull.
Fortunately for him, the jury didn't buy this one bit and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole in 2020. Now,
sometimes, bro, depending on how bad the crime is, I believe that people should be subjected to what they did to their victims. You know what I'm saying? Just so they can know how it feels. Because a lot of these people who do these type of crimes, bro, they really just some straight bitches. Like they wouldn't be able to handle not even a quarter of the things that they did to other people, bro. And that's the part that pisses me off the most.
this should have been the end of Yanis' story, but from what I've seen, there's more to his actions than just this one crime he was convicted of. The thing is, Yanis presented his vile act as a crime of opportunity, something he did completely out of nowhere. However, there's evidence to suggest that Yanis might be a full-blown serial killer. For instance,
what?
He was apparently detained by the police twice.
That would make a lot more sense than just randomly want to kill somebody jogging for no reason.
Before, once for arson and once for animal cruelty.
See, that's where I draw the damn line, bro. Animal cruelty is crazy, bro. What?
Both of which are well-known early behaviors of serial killers.
That's crazy, bro. It's crazy how we just all know.
After his arrest, several other women also came forward, testifying that he had tried to run them over with his car as well in the past. So, Suzanne...
Y'all didn't come forward earlier? Like, why would you not... Okay.
...was more than likely not his...
Let's not victim blame.
...first victim. However, the most solid evidence against Yanis is in one of the deleted videos he uploaded to YouTube. In it, we can see him showing some very human-looking bones scattered...
Is that a femur?
...throughout the same bunker Suzanne was discovered in. These bones were never discovered by the authorities, suggesting they might have been removed by Yanis to hide evidence.
Oh, hell no. I mean, or he could have, like, hid them somewhere as, like, a souvenir, because those easily could have been bones that were already there.
But what makes this truly disturbing is what his friend says at one point in the same video.
What's this goofball ass music? You having fucking Kingdom Hearts soundtrack playing while you're exploring a Nazi bunker?
This roughly translates into, "Is this where you left that old guy?"
Never mind, bro. I just ate all of my words in one gulp, bro. Yeah, hell no.
Insinuating that
Execution.
Giannis had disposed of one of his previous victims in the same bunker before.
That's crazy.
And if that is the case, one can only wonder how many other people Giannis has killed over the years.
I'll never understand serial killers. What in the fuck am I what am I looking? Google just be putting anything on the screen, bro. Serial killers really be thinking that they tough as hell or something.
Simply Manic 6075 was a YouTube channel owned and operated by 24-year-old.
Damn, why? Damn.
Manic 6075 was a YouTube channel owned and operated by 24-year-old Samantha Wolford. She lived in the small community of Monticello, Texas with her—
Is this the woman who set up her husband to die? It might have been her.
Their husband Ernest Lee Ibarra,
Yeah. Yeah, nah, hell no. I heard this one already.
aka Ernie, and their
This
5
is
children.
crazy.
She usually made videos about her day-to-day life and other random topics.
This is
Her story began in
crazy.
2008 when she was at the lowest point of her life. She'd recently become the
She should have stayed there too.
single mother of a pair of twins and had no love interest in her life. That's when she met Ernie at a local tattoo shop, and the two hit it off right from the get-go, eventually getting in a relationship and starting a family together.
Look at how sweet that dude looks.
In one of her videos, Samantha described the day she met Ernie as the happiest day of her life. Together, they were—
Ernie is just a crazy name though. Not to disrespect the dad, bro, but yo, I would be pissed off if somebody named me Ernie.
blessed with 3 more children, including 1 more pair of
You should not have procreated.
twins. Raising 5 kids was a challenge, but Ernie made it work by taking a second job in pizza delivery. So while they had endured
Y'all hear that, right? Ernie was a hardworking man.
tough times together, Samantha, Ernie, and their 5 children appeared to be the perfect loving family. However, while being a stay-at-home mother was all she could do at the time, Samantha still had a dream of becoming a famous actress one day.
I've always wanted to be an actress. I think it is so much fun. I've been extras in movies. I've had small parts in short films. It is so much fun and it is so beautiful. It is one of the most amazing forms of art ever to be able to express yourself that way. I think it's amazing.
Her bottom lip is huge.
So, in October 2010, she created her YouTube channel and started posting videos, hoping to become a popular YouTuber and fulfill her dream on the internet instead. And things were going surprisingly okay
Dead baby bills.
in the beginning.
5-year-old trans. Yeah, niggas were just there. She was just saying anything.
Samantha would post new videos whenever she had something new to say. And while most of her videos struggled to get past 100 views at the time, the few viewers she had were enough to keep her going. But as time passed on, her passion for making videos turned into an obsession. She started spending more of her time on making videos than her family, putting even more pressure on an already stressed out Ernie. Around 2014,
Fucking deadbeat. Women can be deadbeats too, bro.
she also started accusing Ernie of hurting her in her videos, hinting at just how bad their relationship was going. But then, after posting a seemingly random video in March of 2014, Samantha mysteriously vanished from the internet.
That baby did not blink that entire time, bro.
Maybe she lost interest in YouTube or just wanted to focus on her family again. No one knew exactly why she quit so abruptly. Then, on the 20th of February 2015, viewers finally received the update they were waiting for. Unfortunately, it was far more tragic than anyone could have imagined. It started with the
Ridiculous.
Texas police receiving a call from one of Samantha's aunts asking them to save her niece's life.
Cause County 911, what's your emergency?
I have a home invasion. My niece is tied up. I
Oh my god, just hearing this pisses me off again, bro. She literally tied her. Dude, I'm gonna let y'all listen to it, bro. Oh my god, this literally just
am
pisses me
at the
off.
verge of untying my niece at this particular moment.
Okay, she's tied up
She is tied up and gagged.
and gagged. Is that what
Oh
yes,
my
ma'am.
God.
Is there anybody else there?
Where are the kids?
CLOUT is one hell of a drug. If y'all have the time, go look at the police interrogation for this, bro. Just watching her realize that she's fucked in real time is one of the most satisfying things to see, bro, because the more you learn about it, the more you realize this bitch was crazy. Like, I think there was a part where the police were like, how'd you dial your aunt if you were tied up? I used my face and I used my nose and I used my tongue. Okay, well, if you did that, why didn't you dial 911? It would have been easier to dial 911. Why'd you dial your aunt instead of calling the cops? Because it was on speed dial and it was easier. 911 is 3 presses of your nose. It's like 4 presses of your nose max. You know what I'm saying? Dude, oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro. This case pissed me off.
We have 5 small infants asleep.
Apparently, 3 masked men broke into their home in the middle of the night and attacked the couple while they were asleep. The intruders then tied Samantha in her bedroom and after hitting him with a gun a few times, kidnapped Ernie. Samantha somehow managed to get her ties loose enough to call her aunt, who then contacted the police after arriving at Samantha's home herself. By the time officers arrived,
So stupid, bro.
Samantha's aunt had set her free from the restraints. The kids were fortunately safe as well. However, what made this whole situation strange was that the intruders didn't take anything else from their home
it didn't even harm a single hair on Samantha's head.
Besides Ernie. And from the people who knew him personally, Ernie wasn't the type of guy to make enemies with dangerous people. Put simply, investigators sensed something fishy with the whole situation. But all that paled in comparison to the main objective, which was to save Ernie as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Samantha didn't know anything that could give investigators their first clue. With no other option, the officers took Samantha to the station for further questioning.
This part is crazy, bro. I'm telling you, it's crazy to me how police interrogation tactics are like widely known online, but they're still effective. That just, like, you know, police can lie to you. You know, police are keep you in a cold room for hours before they actually talk to you to get you to break a little bit. You know all these tactics that they're going to do in these interrogations, and they still do them, and they still work. Like, that's how effective this shit is, bro. She had no chance.
Hoping to extract any useful information they could from her. But what none of them expected was that Samantha would change up her story completely after entering the interrogation room. Where before she didn't know anything about the assailants, now she had the name of a potential suspect, John Rebel. As Samantha's story goes, she was talking to her friend about Ernie's supposed attacks on Samantha, when suddenly a man with the pseudonym John Rebel overheard their conversation and started talking about how a man shouldn't treat a woman that way and that he was going to handle the situation.
She really thought she was finna be a Oscar-nominated actress with this performance, bro. Girl, that would have given you a Razzie. Bald spot in the top of your head. Like, what?
Well, as it turned out, the name John Rebel actually belonged to someone, a man named Jonathan Sanford. The police found and arrested John not long after Samantha gave out his name, right alongside his 2 accomplices, Jose Ponce and Octavius Rhymes. Surprisingly, Jonathan put up little to no resistance and immediately confessed to kidnapping Ernie. He also confirmed the worst possible outcome.
He said Octavius is the one that shot him, if I remember.
That by the time the police got involved, Ernie was already dead. The 3 took him to a secluded forest and executed him with 1 shot to the back of his head. However, even after learning all this, one question remained. Why? Why would 3 men who didn't even know Ernie kidnap him from his home like that? Every answer to this question pointed back to Samantha, who kept denying any involvement. Even if the investigators ignored her suddenly remembering the perpetrator's name, there were several other suspicious aspects to her story. Like, how was she able to untie herself enough to call her aunt? Why didn't any of her neighbors hear the break-in?
That's what I'm saying. No, the biggest one is, why did you call your aunt and not 911?
And why were the kids all sleeping in the same room, when usually they're scattered throughout the house? It wasn't long before investigators uncovered undeniable evidence of her direct involvement. This included instruction messages she sent to Octavius when the officers were trying to call Ernie's phone.
Don't think that you can trick the police, gang. It just doesn't work. You might delete the text, but guess what? Your phone company did not delete those texts, bro. It don't matter if you factory reset your phone. Those messages are saved on a cloud somewhere in the system, and the police have full access to it if there's a criminal investigation, bro. Just don't even do no crimes like this.
She had on him.
Just don't no crimes in general. Maybe steal from Walmart, I don't know.
These read, "Kill his phone, shut that down, ditch phone, move." There was no...
She really thought she was like Harley Quinn in this bitch.
No doubt about it at this point. Samantha was in colluding with her husband's killers. And as the investigation went on, the real story came out as well. Samantha had apparently become addicted to the idea of becoming a famous YouTuber, and her neglect of the kids became a constant source of fighting between the couple. But instead of resolving the issue like a responsible adult, Samantha colluded with her friend's boyfriend to hatch a cartoonishly evil scheme to get rid of Ernie.
Crazy.
They first wanted to plant hard drugs in his car and get him arrested, but later made the heartless decision that taking his life would be much easier.
Yeah.
There's also a chance that Samantha went with the murder plan because it would have brought her more attention on YouTube.
Have you found... Oh my... Samantha be pissing me off, bro. Like, look at her.
There's also a chance that Samantha went with the murder plan because it would have brought her more attention on YouTube.
Well, have you? Like, bitch, what? Oh my god, see?
She was eventually sentenced to 149 years in prison for killing
Exactly, she wasn't doing no,
her own husband, leaving her 5 children completely orphaned in the process.
I hate that for the kids, bro. I hate Samantha more, though. Ugly ass. She couldn't even look at the camera, bro. Like, why are you depressed? Like, you chose to do it. This is the part, that's the part that really pisses me off. That if they get caught, they have, like, their whole world is destroyed. Like, you chose, nobody told you to do this except you. Over here, acting like you so sad and depressed and you're a broken human being. Like, nigga, wait. Nobody told your stupid ass to do that. Jesus.
Diana Lovejoy was a successful technical writer living in the town of Carlsbad, California with her husband Greg Mulvihill. However, while her corporate job paid the bills, Diana's true passion was becoming a triathlon athlete and documenting her journey on video.
Triathlon is insane, bro.
Resulting in her eventually starting her own fitness blog called Lovejoy Fitness and a YouTube channel by the name of Heavy DJ. She started this channel all the way back in 2008 and over the years used it to document various parts of her life.
Imagine all the channels that have something like, have like a creepy, crazy story attached to them that we just don't even know.
From meeting her parents after a long time to going scuba diving with her husband. At one point, she even tried to become a cooking show host of sorts.
Doesn't that smell nice?
Unfortunately,
That sounded creepy.
her channel never really took off, forcing her to eventually cut her losses and move on with her life in March of 2012. Or at least that's what it looked like from the outside. In reality, Diana's reason for abandoning her YouTube channel was kind of wholesome. You see, Diana and Greg had been trying for a baby for years by this point. Tragically, Diana had suffered 8 different miscarriages and was quickly losing hope.
God damn.
But then in September of 2012, the two were blessed with a perfectly healthy baby boy, marking an end to their struggle.
Nice.
However, what should have been a moment of celebration
I don't like the fact that she's looking scared in the courtroom.
started a downward spiral of lies and betrayals, eventually culminating in an assassination attempt.
What?
Things started going downhill when just a few months after the birth of their son, Greg lost his job, leaving Diana as the sole breadwinner.
Oh yeah, that's already strike number 1, bro.
The stress of the previous miscarriages, combined with the crushing weight of having to support a family in an extremely expensive city all on her own, spelled disaster for their marriage.
I'm not hearing that. I don't want to hear that at all, bro. I don't care how stressed you are. Plotting murder? No, gang. Sit your ass down. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It wasn't long before the two were constantly fighting with each other. Things escalated even further on July 9, 2014, when Greg returned home only to see a police officer waiting for him at the door. The officer explained that Greg wasn't allowed to enter his own home because, as it turned out, Diana had accused him of attacking both her and their son.
That's crazy.
What followed was a nearly
There's no excuse for that, bro. I don't care how stressed you are.
2-year-long divorce mediation, during which the investigators found no evidence supporting Diana's accusations, allowing Greg to get a 50-50 custody of their son.
And she couldn't live with that?
Diana was also ordered to pay $120,000 as a part of their divorce settlement in late
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Rest in peace, Greg.
2015. But before the divorce could be finalized, Greg received a phone call from an anonymous number that changed everything. The voice on the other end claimed to be a private investigator Diana had hired recently. And according to this investigator, he already had solid proof of the attack claims Diana had made against Greg. But for some unknown reason, he wanted to help Greg win the case, so he claimed to have left the documents taped to a power pole located on a small hiking trail near Greg's home.
What the fuck? I ain't gonna lie, I would have said, gang, just see me at court. Click. What you mean? What? You got hired to get me arrested. Like, listen to how this sounds. You're telling me that you've already been convinced. You've seen the evidence that proves that you think that I am an abuser, yet you want to help me out? And you want to help me out by telling me to go to some secluded location to pick up some papers taped to a telephone? Boy, what? I'm calling up.
Greg
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say, sir, I will see you in court.
Naturally found this whole thing pretty suspicious and decided to take one of his friends with him to the pole on the night of September 4th, 2016.
I would have took one of my friends and one of my partners. Clean up. No way.
Sadly, despite his suspicions, he failed to grasp the true intentions of the strangely helpful private detective.
Yeah.
Hello, is this 911?
Yeah. My friend has just been shot.
Do you know who shot him?
There's a guy lying down like a sniper.
A sniper? Did you see him?
A sniper? You hired a sniper? What? Oh my god.
Briefly, we saw the gun.
I ain't gonna lie, Greg, you dumb as hell for going there. What is you're crazy, bro.
He shot at us like 6 or 7 times.
When Greg reached the pole,
Sound like he's a shitty shot too.
a sniper opened fire on him, shooting him clean through the chest. Fortunately, the bullet missed his heart by mere inches, giving him
Damn. Where'd you get this sniper from? Craigslist? This is terrible work.
a second chance
Shout out to Greg though. I hope he survived.
at life. By the time the police arrived, the shooter had already fled the crime scene. But a quick survey of the area allowed the investigators to uncover a pair of towels the shooter left behind. Running a DNA test on these towels led to a man named Weldon McDavid, Diana's shooting instructor. Weldon tried to deny any involvement.
You're a shooting instructor, yet you shot 6 or 7 times and you missed and hit him once. You should lose your shooting instructor license just for that.
At first, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. As after a thorough search, investigators were able to find another set of the same towels at Diana's place as well. They had also received CCTV footage of Diana buying the burner phone Weldon later used to lure Greg into the secluded area.
How did you convince your shooting instructor to turn into a sniper? How did you do that? Like, how much did you pay him? Or I refuse to believe there's any coochie that's that good to make me turn into a wannabe American sniper.
Most importantly, investigators also found the gun Weldon used on Greg, hidden in the rafters of his garage.
That's
By this
crazy.
point, it was clear that Diana was the one who wanted to get rid of Greg, likely to avoid paying the divorce settlement and keep full custody of her son. Diana and Weldon were arrested for the attempted...
God damn, Diana is... I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm so glad Greg survived, because I'll be pissed if somebody this chopped got me knocked off, bro. This nigga look like... the dude who invented peanut butter. You're not catching my body. Like, you're crazy.
assassination
This is chopped and chopette.
of Greg Mulvihill and tried for their crimes in November
Big ass nose.
2017. Both were found guilty, with Diana sentenced to 26 years to life and Weldon to a harsher 50 years to life.
Why does she look so surprised? Like, you literally hired a sniper. What are we talking about? Why do people do crazy ass crimes and then act so shocked when they get sentenced? I never understood that. Look at you doing all of this. Oh my god. Like, what are you talking about? You try to get your husband whacked off.
The only silver lining in this entire case is that Greg was able to make a full recovery.
Shout out Greg, bro. And Greg gets to go to people and brag about the fact that he got shot by a sniper and survived, bro. He deserves a Purple Heart.
And is now living with his son.
Crazy as hell.
The Gunnar Runar 87 channel on YouTube seems oddly wholesome at first glance. It's owned by an Icelandic boy named Gunnar Runar.
Okay. I might be way off base. Is this the dude that tried to become a mass shooter? And like there was a YouTuber who like called him out and said this kid is giving off mass shooter energy and we should keep an eye on him? Is that him? Or I might be tripping.
Torsion and contains a single 3.5-minute video of him confessing his feelings to the girl he loves. The title translates to English as My Confession to Hildur. In
That's a hideous name.
it, he says things like,
She is without a doubt the most special human being I've ever met. No, I don't think this is the one I was talking about.
However, this seemingly heartfelt love letter turned out to be the key to solving one of the most horrific crimes in recent Icelandic history. And it all led back to Gunnar and the troubled life he had as a child. You see, Gunnar didn't have a mother growing up, resulting in him getting extremely close with his father.
I'm about to say, what am I looking at? It looks like a mascot off of Five Nights at Freddy's.
However, on the night of September 20th, 1996, when Gunnar was just 9 years old, his father decided to end it all using a gun. What made this already messed up situation even worse was the fact that Gunnar was in the room with his father and witnessed everything.
I ain't gonna lie, I understand mental health, take that seriously, bro. The father, you're fucked up for doing that. In front of your kid, you're so fucked up for doing that, bro.
Unsurprisingly,
I like rest in peace, but that's fucked up. In front of your kid, take your mental health serious, people.
this took a heavy toll on Gunnar's mental health. He withdrew from the world and refused to accept his father's death as reality. Everything seemed hopeless for Gunnar. That is until primary school, when he met a girl named Hildur and instantly became infatuated with her. He'd admired her throughout school and into adulthood, but never found the courage to make a move, fearing he'd lose his only close friend. However, things changed in 2009 when Hildur got engaged to a man named Hannes. This gave Gunnar the push to do something about his feelings. But
Hildur is still the hideous name. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know if she died, and I apologize if she did. Hildur, you know what? Let me shut my American ass up.
given his shy personality, he still couldn't confront Hildur directly. So, in March of 2009, he created a YouTube channel and uploaded his confession on there.
Who subscribed to this channel? I need those IP addresses for the people who subscribe to this channel.
Hildur never reciprocated his feelings, but the two remained friends. Even Hannes, Hildur's now husband, didn't seem to mind Gunnar's company, something he likely regretted deeply just a year later. It all went down on the 14th of August 2010. Hildur was invited to a party that Gunnar was attending as well. But things got a bit out of hand, and Hildur ended up drinking too much and passing out. Given their closeness,
Oh, hell no.
the task of getting her home safely was handed to Gunnar. But instead of dropping her off at Hannes' house,
Hell no.
just like he should have, Gunnar took her to his own home.
Oh,
But
hell, bro. Bro.
by the time Hildur woke up, it was already morning. She was understandably furious with Gunnar and immediately called one of her friends to drive her home.
I hope she beat his ass.
But nothing could have prepared Hildur for the horrific scene she witnessed on the other side of her front door.
Oh my
Her husband
God.
Hannes was lying on the top of the staircase near their bedroom, submerged in a pool of his own blood.
What the
She ran outside
fuck?
and called the authorities. Sadly, it was already too late. Hannes had received over 20 stab wounds on his body, from his arms and legs to the back of his neck,
Jesus.
and was long dead by the time Hildur found him. Given his condition, his death was ruled a homicide, and investigators wasted no time in looking for the killer. And while they initially suspected one of his business rivals of committing this horrific crime,
Damn.
it didn't take long for investigators to find Gunnar's video confession to Hildur and bring him in for questioning.
Good.
Gunnar denied knowing anything about it and was eventually let go due to lack of evidence.
What?
Fortunately, not all hope was lost, because not long after that, investigators found a bloody shoe print next to Hannes' bed.
Thank God, bro.
Looking deeper into this print revealed that it belonged to a pair of limited edition Adidas shoes. At the time, there were only 18 of these specific shoes in all of Iceland, and Gunnar just so happened to own one of these pairs. This was enough evidence to detain him once
Wow.
again. This also gave investigators the authority to do a
Look at this dude with his hood. Bro, we all know who you are. Trying to put your hood over like you some mysterious being. Like, bro, what?
thorough search of his belongings.
Nigga, we seen your pictures, bro. Trust me, you ain't keeping nothing from the world.
resulting in them finding residue of Hannes's blood on his shoes, as well as in his car. Once presented with this evidence, Gunnar confessed to the murder. He also revealed that he'd been planning it for months, and even shoplifted the items he intended to use to avoid purchase records linking back to him.
Yeah, you're done, buddy.
And while he didn't admit to it, Hilda also suspected him of spiking her drink that night, since she usually never passed out like that. After committing the crime, he also drove to a nearby pier and dumped items used in the crime into the sea to get rid of any evidence.
That's crazy.
It was a well thought out plan, since he was only caught because the garbage bag he used to hide his shoe prints tore open as he walked.
That's insane. So he almost got away with it.
As for his motive, it was just as everyone had expected, with him making it clear during the investigation, stating, "I loved Hilda. She was supposed to be with me. She was not supposed to be with him."
What was the end goal? Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Did you think Hilda was gonna like drop her pants when she found out that you murdered her husband? Like, what are we talking about? Oh my god, bro. Niggas don't be...
Surprisingly, he was found not guilty during his first trial on March 1, 2011 by reason of insanity stemming from his messed up childhood.
Man.
However, the prosecution argued that he was fully aware of his actions and...
Yeah, bro, because you... What? No, dude. That was way too much plotting. You stole the items. You took her back to your crib when she got drunk. Like, there's like a reasonable argument that you probably could have spiked her drink. No, hell no, bro.
Escalated the case to the Supreme Court of Iceland. Gunnar was found guilty on this second trial and was sentenced to 16 years in prison.
16?
This was already lenient given the brutality of his crime, yet he ended up serving only half of that sentence as well. He was released under supervision in July 2019 and now works at a local warehouse.
What? You know what, bro? I'm staying out of Iceland. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But Jesus Christ, bro. That just... Oh my god, bro. Okay. Shout out to Chillin' Scares. Good video, bro. Oops. Good video. That pissed me off, though. Holy shit.